Leslie, this is Marcy, and I'll calm down a little bit so we don't say my name. Marcy and I came to FUS 22 years ago after a lovely memorial service for an artist friend of ours showed us a place where we might learn to be good without God. We had been looking for a place that allowed us to grow in our, we later realized, humanist beliefs. I'm embarrassed to say that it took us many years as friends of this organization before we took the plunge to become members. Since then, FUS has been a place for us to engage the world through social action. We've worked the Capitol in defense of gay marriage and worked the State Fair in defense of the Curly light bulb. And our children, now grown, have learned about religion, spirituality, friendship, and sex. Now, as we enter the later stages of our life here at FUS, we find ourselves recommitting our time and energy to this place, and grateful that we have become part of a like-minded community that we can call our spiritual home.
What I like about FUS is the spiritual and intellectual ideas I find here, the social justice, the seasonal celebrations, and the music, and many, many other things that I could go on and on. There's many things here for everybody. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Twyla Fannin, and my journey to the Unitarian Church has been a long one. So for a decade, I worked with runaway and homeless youth in Florida. And during that work, I learned of the Unitarian curriculum for young people around sexuality. And at the time, I thought, when I have children, I'm going to expose them to that curriculum. 6 years ago, I moved to Minnesota from Washington, D.C. And as I met people and exchanged my ideas and opinions, the young people would say, you need to go to Camp Unistar. You'd really love it. And the adults would say, have you met Kendall? You sound a lot like her. And then a postcard came in the mail announcing the new year for the religious education program here at FUS. And I thought, well, what a great opportunity. I'm going to bring my son here and have him attend the program. And didn't seem right to just drop him off. So, and I met Kendall, alive and well, and other people that had similar values and beliefs. And it was really a great homecoming and a welcoming to my journey here in Minnesota.
I'm John Farrell, lucky enough to be married to Twyla, and Twyla is actually the one that brought me to FUS, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's made a big difference in my life. Coming to FUS has felt like coming home for me. Like many of you, I bounced around various versions of Christianity, never really feeling a true connection to that path. And when exposed to the humanistic orientation, it felt like, oh, I finally see people that understand me and some people that I can understand. Like the comedian Bill Maher, I don't need to know about the origins of the universe and life and everything. I don't need a supernatural power to explain the unexplainable. In fact, my supernatural power is this community and the things that this community does to fight to end homelessness and to fight for marriage equality. If I did have a supernatural power, I would help the kickoff of this campaign to have money fly out of your pockets in person. Although actually, I think Wells Fargo could probably better put some thought into that. We did loan them quite a bit of money recently, I think. I'm not sure we got it all paid back. So coming here is coming home, and it's connecting with like-minded people. I think Circle Supper is one of my absolute favorite things. I've had a chance to dine in the homes of many of you, and it is so wonderful to talk with people who have correct political views. The Bush years were so dark for me. I wish I had been here, because I think it really would have helped reduce the years of depression. So it's great to be home, and for those of you who are new or considering FUS, you'll be really happy if you decide to join. And it's not a hard sell. I believe that Kendall let us haunt the hallways here for 1.5 years, before it finally occurred to me I probably should join. So, it's so wonderful to be home. Thank you.
I'm not sure how I ended up being the only one. Everyone else was paired. That might confuse people. So when I first heard that Scott Eller left me a voicemail, I thought, free ice cream, I'm in. I don't know, his voice just does that for me. But after actually listening to his message, and overcoming my initial disappointment at not getting free chocolate therapy for a year. Good stuff, go find it. I realized he was asking me to speak and give a testimonial here today in front of all of you. I'm not a public speaker. I like to write. I don't really like to speak. We can't all be Phil Duran and either both.
Yeah, right.
He's not here to enjoy that. I'll have to Facebook him later. So I ask you to bear with me while I try to put personal feelings into words because that is not a strong suit of mine. There are three things that came to mind when I thought about writing this testimonial: community, education, and sanctuary. Community I'm not going to spend a lot of time on because you'll hear that again and again. I think you all have your own ideas of what that is. And let's face it, you wouldn't come here and sit with people every week if you didn't feel that. So I'll skip ahead to education. My whole family's been touched by education here. My partner Claire is actually teaching kindergarten right now. She loves the adult education classes. She comes home from them very excited, wanting to tell me all about them at, 10 o'clock at night. And she loves the fact that she gets to find the time and a place to be with other engaged and intelligent people. She said not since college could she sit there and engage in that and not have, she doesn't even have a test, so it's even better than college. Our daughter Athena will soon be in religious education, and we're super thrilled and can't wait because we say almost weekly, and Jan should know this, I can't wait for her to start because we can't wait for her to get those tools to speak to the community at large about the things that are already starting to impact her from outside forces. I'll get to my own education in a minute, what I've learned here, but I want to move on next to sanctuary. Sanctuary is a word I didn't really think I'd ever use. I wasn't raised with religion. And I remember sitting with Jan Dever, I can't pronounce her name, and having her talk about language. And that we should learn to own language and not be afraid of the negative reactions we have about surrounding things like church, minister. And I walked out of there thinking, oh, she's a better person than I am. But we've already heard it in our daughter. Athena already says, I'm going to church. I'm going to speak with the minister. She loves to hear that Kendall's teaching. So that has educated us a little bit in terms of that. But I really want to tell a story. You can see I completely rewrote this because I wanted to tell a story. I've been going to the Women's Awareness Group dinners now for about a year. And I was finally invited to co-host one with a very distinguished and esteemed member here, who I won't name. She called me when it was our turn to co-host about a couple weeks before and left a message and said, Chris, we're supposed to host this at my house next month, but I just realized that the date of it falls on the date that they're going to come talk about the marriage amendment and how to speak to the marriage amendment here at FUS. Maybe you've heard about this marriage amendment thing. But I think that we should move our event to next month and that WAG should sponsor this event. We should all still cook. Okay, I cheated a little bit, I brought mine from the wedge. But we should all cook, bring refreshments, attend and support this, and speak with others about this in our community. I called her back and said, I have actually heard of this marriage amendment thing, and I would be happy to do that. And to see the emails of all the other members of WAG writing back how excited they were to come to this event and speak on it and listen to it was much more community than I had ever anticipated. So we did go to the event and had a fantastic turnout. But I felt like that event alone embodied the three things I'm speaking of here. There was a community of people, UUs from all over, not just FUS, speaking in a safe space about how they felt about the marriage amendment. But even further than that, they wanted to be educated on how to speak against it when they're not gay, and when they may not even know anybody who's gay. That came up several times, someone saying, what do I say if this isn't my story? And I thought, this is safe space for me. There's people here that are coming to fight my fight. I'm of course here, but they're coming to fight my fight on their own time and find out how to talk about it with other people. And that was the embodiment of these three things for me. So when I think of FUS, I think of course of community, education, and sanctuary. But I still hold out for free ice cream.